Okay, so it is February 18th, 2026. Today we are doing a deep dive on a giant that's really been hiding in plain sight. We're talking about Chainlink. And honestly, if you still think of them as just the price feed guys for DeFi, you are living in the past.
Oh, way in the past. That's ancient history now.
Yeah.
They've quietly pivoted into it. They're calling a universal platform.
Right.
It's not just about getting crypto prices anymore. It's about becoming the middleware for the entire global on-chain economy.
Yeah, the numbers I saw just back that up completely. There was one stat that made me do a double take. $28 trillion in enabled transaction value. Is that real?
It's real. Trillion with a T.
Wow.
That's significantly more than the GDP of the United States. So, we're not talking about a niche crypto project. This is infrastructure.
No, this is global capital.
Same.
So the mission for this deep dive has to be, how did they pull this off?
Yeah.
Because they went from, like you said, powering crypto casinos to solving these huge infrastructure problems for what, BlackRock?
It's what they call the connectivity problem. For years, the whole focus was getting data onto the blockchain, the Oracle problem.
Right, that's what we all do.
But the real issue for 2026 and for these huge institutions is that all their internal systems are fragmented. They needed a way to connect legacy banking tech to all these new blockchains.
And that institutional demand, that must explain the news from last week.
The CME launch.
Yeah, February 9th.
Yeah.
The CME group launches regulated Chainlink futures. That feels like a very specific kind of signal.
It's a massive maturity signal. I mean, think about who's running these nodes. Deutsche Telekom, Swisscom.
Huge companies.
Huge. And they're earning tokens, but they have to pay their bills in fiat, in dollars or euros.
Right. You can't pay your electric bill with a volatile asset without taking on a ton of risk.
Exactly. So the futures market lets them hedge that exposure. It just stabilizes the entire backbone of the network.
And it paves the way for a potential ETF down the line.
Historically, that's the red carpet rollout, yes.
So the financial plumbing is getting set. But what about the technical plumbing? Because banks are running on ancient tech.
They are.
They speak a language called ISO 2022, and blockchains they don't understand it.
Not at all. And that's where Chainlink stepped in as this universal translator. A bank doesn't want to manage private keys. They don't want to set up new nodes.
Of course not.
They just want to sit at their existing Swift terminal. So they send that standard message.
The one the blockchain can't read.
Right. And Chainlink, using CCIP, just intercepts it, translates it, and settles the transaction on the other side. It's seamless for them.
And CCIP, the cross-chain interoperability protocol, that's the piece I keep seeing described as the TCP/IP of blockchains.
It's the perfect analogy, really. TCP/IP let all these isolated computer networks talk to each other to build the internet.
And CCIP lets isolated blockchains talk to each other.
Exactly. And you're seeing real validation there. I mean, Coinbase just selected CCIP as the exclusive bridge for things like their wrapped Bitcoin.
So they're not even building their own anymore. They're trusting Chainlink.
They're trusting the security of a universal standard over a proprietary one.
Okay, but hang on. There is a massive snack here. Blockchains are public. Banks are the opposite of public. If you're a big bank, you cannot legally just splash your client's net worth across a public ledger.
That's the fundamental friction. And that's what DECO is for. It's a privacy protocol that enables what you could call identity without doxing.
So you can prove a fact without revealing the underlying data.
Precisely. The bank can prove to the chain, yes, this user is an accredited investor, or this account has sufficient funds, without ever showing the name or the actual balance. It keeps the regulators and the blockchain happy.
Okay, let's talk speed too. Because for a little while, some competitors like Pith were eating Chainlink's lunch on latency.
They were. The old push model was just too slow. It was like waiting for the morning paper to get a price update.
So what changed?
They've moved to data streams. It's a pull model.
Meaning the application just requests the data the instant it needs it.
Yes. Instead of waiting for the paper, you just ask for the info. It dropped latency to around 300 milliseconds. It pretty much neutralizes that speed advantage.
So with all this tech, what about the economics? For years, all this value was just leaking out of the system.
It was. When a price updated, it created a small arbitrage opportunity, and that value was getting snatched up by miners or validators.
But Chainlink acquired a company, Atlas, to fix this.
Yeah, to implement something called smart value recapture, they basically auction off the right to make that update. The network itself now captures that revenue, I think it was over $17 million recently, and funnels it back into a reserve to buy back its own token.
Creating sustainable demand, it all ties together. So when you zoom out in 2026, this isn't just a coin anymore. It feels more like a verification layer for the entire internet.
Or the golden record, the single source of truth for digital agreements.
Which leaves us with a pretty heavy final thought for you to chew on. If code can finally truly guarantee execution, what happens to the trillions of dollars the traditional banking sector spends every year on manual reconciliation, on just trust?
Efficiency is a brutal force,
Yeah.
and it looks like it's finally coming for the back office.
Something to think about. Thanks for tuning into this deep dive. We'll catch you on the next one.